I think the internet says you're good to go. I don't trust these gloves.
All right, it is 3 p.m. on Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. I will call to order the regular meeting of the YCOM Executive Board. And if we could start, I'm going to ask Operations Manager Steve Long to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Steve. Fairly short agenda for today. So there is nothing for item 1 of old business. Item 2, new business. We will get a user committee update from Under Sheriff Bowdle.
Absolutely. First off, Chief Graven apologizes. It was against his doctor's orders to participate based on his condition. So stepping in for my guy. Thanks for putting me on the user group, Sheriff. I've had a lot of learning experiences. And, as you guys know, over the past few months, we've been kind of diligently working. We've made a lot of meaningful progress, refining and updating the 190 agreement. Part of that, obviously, there's some key updates that I'm going to leave for Chief Graven to update you on. I'm not going to steal his thunder, but we made a lot of movement. I know you guys are allowed to participate virtually, but it wasn't in the 190. That's one of the updates that we put in. Also, in regards to agency representation and responsibility, we've kind of refocused that effort to those groups instead of the e-board. Let them handle their business and you guys oversee it. That way you guys aren't held to the fire if they don't meet a hard date of switching memberships and things like that. So you'll see some changes there too. We've updated all the names, agency information, rosters. The funding formula obviously has also been revised. So you'll see that. That formula provides a more clear structure on how costs are shared and services are funded. In addition to that, we've added in a paragraph of expanded services, which is kind of a new framework that allows YCOM to kind of evaluate and expand some of those non-911 services that they currently are performing, associated charges with, of course, the end result being you folks get to vote and tell them whether or not they can do it or not. But that's really all I have to update you on. There's, like I said, been a lot of movement, a lot of good participation. When you're surrounded by a bunch of chiefs, usually things get done. And so I'm happy to be part of it and made some good friendships that I think will continue into the future. But happy to answer any questions you might have. Clearly, there's people here that are on that work group. So if I've misspoken or said something that I left out, just let me know.
Sheriff?
Yeah, Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Sheriff. Under Sheriff, this may be a question for Chief for the next meeting, but when are we looking to have this finalized and presented for draft form so we can take a look at it and make any comments or anything?
Yeah, I think the plan with the chief being out was the first of the year, January. I know he wants to present it sooner. I just don't know if that's possible yet to get that to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other yeah, Dan.
This one. Yeah, I was curious, would it be possible for us to get a copy of the spreadsheet or the formulas that are being used or being created?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I'm sure they're preliminary enough for, I would say, a revision, but it'd be nice to just get a look at what's taking place.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is would we be presented this on the next meeting of February, or and would that be enough time for, I know Brandon or the, other budget season is, you guys are building your budgets at that time. And so I think that was the urgency of getting it done before the budget. Would that be enough time, or will we need to maybe convene?
I think that's plenty of time. I mean, I know Chief Graven was ready to try to present this document to everybody.
And it may be that we either put the draft out so that everybody can bring their comments or suggested revisions to the February meeting, or we may end up having to have a special session
Yeah.
in January to make sure that we get that completed document out for budget planning purposes.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and that was my concern was we're trying to get a little further ahead of the ball this year on budget planning so that we can anticipate X amount of increase, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
And just whatever we can get out there so that we can begin in the finance department planning. It would be much appreciated.
We will make that happen.
Thank you.
I'm a yes man. Tell me, I'll get it done.
Any other questions for the user committee? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to 2B, which is a director's update. And
Good afternoon. I'm sorry?
It's all yours.
Okay. I have a handful of general updates for you. I wanted to let you know that we have purchased more memory for our network hosts in YCOM. This will ensure the same rated performance as RMS traffic starts coming into our network. We partnered, this is a one-off, which is why I'm bringing it up. So everything else RMS related is YCOM pays the original invoice, and then we invoice out the City of McMinnville Police Department and Yamhill County Sheriff's Office, and they each pay half. On this purchase, we have partnered together 3 ways purchasing this, because the memory will be thrown into YCOM's entire environment, and that allows us some flexibility of how we disseminate resources. So we thought it best to actually cost share in that as well, because some of it will be supporting YCOM's overall function. So the police department and Yamhill County Sheriff's Office are each paying $5,000. YCOM will pay $4,150. It's a $14,000, $150 purchase. So I wanted to let you know that. That's why I'm not doing a 50-50 cost share, because we're utilizing part of its performance elsewhere. Any questions on that? Okay. Wanted to let you know, some people should be aware that Yamhill County has started evaluating the aging MyTel telephone system that they have, and the costs that are going to be associated with maintaining it in the future versus considering some type of a replacement system. So I wanted to let you know that Shane Hoffman has convened a work group. It does include 3 entities, YCOM, City of McMinnville, and Yamhill County IT, because there are operational and budgetary impacts for each of us. The City of McMinnville and YCOM are hosted on the county's MyTel system currently. So as they navigate their phone options, there will be a direct impact to us both operationally in what the end result is chosen, as well as budgetarily. Today, I contract with Yamhill County and pay a monthly fee for our administrative phones. So I would anticipate that we would go along with them, but we're just at the beginning stages now. So at some point, there'll be a decision. We continue on with them, or we'll need to seek our own solution for our administrative lines. Any questions there?
I have a question. Excuse me. Did you say that MyTel is being discontinued, or we're just being renegotiated?
They're evaluating whether or not to continue with it, because it is aging. So the maintenance costs are going higher and higher versus other vendors and other types of phone systems out on premise, in the cloud, different types of systems that would cost less and have the same or better performance overall.
Okay. And have other agencies used those, and are they available here?
And Scott Burke is participating on the city side.
Yeah.
And yes, there would be vendors that Shane is evaluating for what's a good fit for all of the capabilities that each of the 3 organizations have and enjoy today, plus what would be an added benefit.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Yep. So we are live with Texas 911 with one very small company that we learned in the process. Lumen actually brought them live. They're called J2 Global. We'd never heard of them before. It's a small application-based call connection service. So I wouldn't even say that they're a cellular service, but they do call connectivity. They did test with us. All of that was successful. Steve said in all the testing took about 15 minutes. They are live and they told us they have no customers in our area. So, but that does tell us that the FCC has notified the carriers, as well as my letters to the carriers are in process. So we do, now it's just a waiting game as they approach us and ask us to test with them. So we're kind of surprised that we have not heard from 3 major carriers already. And maybe that's fourth quarter activities and we'll hear from them after the first of the year. But again, we don't want to broadcast to our public until we know that there's a good chance the majority of Yamhill County can access us via text and we don't cause confusion to them. As far as staffing, we are in the middle of a hiring process. We do have 2 candidates who entered the background 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, one was last week and 1 week.
One last week, one the week before. We are, that's where they're at. They're in the background process. If they successfully complete the background, then there is pre-hiring occupational medicine testing, as well as the psych tests that they would be doing in mid-January. So we'll keep you updated on that. We are looking to hire in January or February, depending on how quickly the backgrounds are done and whether or not they're successful. I did have outreach from a person from out of state who says her family is relocating to Oregon in June, and she's done an initial query. So I will be communicating with her. Currently, that means if we do fill those 2 positions, I wouldn't have one available unless we add back some during the budget process. But with the unknowns of the 2 that are in background now, I wouldn't want to just dismiss her inquiry that many months away. So, and by then I would like to have talked you into restoring a position or 2. So we'll keep working on that. Any questions there? Okay.
Do have one. Can you update on the ones that are currently in training?
Currently, so I think when we last met, I let you know that Melissa Link had just been signed out of training, or she was assigned a training shift. She's doing outstanding. She is a career employee now, probationary. And Garrett Hardwick has entered, he graduated from the Basic Telecom Academy, and he has entered the final stages of his training as well. So I would expect in Q1 of 2026, he's signed off and at the console. He's already making a difference when he is there. Has some training to go. Thank you for that. An update on the law enforcement records management project as a whole. Central Square is here this week, completing one of many training workshops. This week, it's centered and focused with our IT folks from each of the departments, and they're designing reports that they would write for the agencies themselves. This project is on budget and it is on schedule, and we have an anticipated go live timeframe of the first week of May 5th. So more to come on that over the next several months. We have a weekly meeting, and that's to keep the project itself on schedule and all training and consultation activities moving forward. So I'm really happy with the partnership and the collaboration between YCOM and Yamhill County and the McMinnville Police Department as a whole. And a couple weeks ago, we added in another component just for oversight. And so we have a weekly project meeting with the vendor on Tuesdays, and on Thursdays, the support services manager from each of those agencies are meeting with me by Thursday afternoon. So we're trying to catch follow-on items. Any questions that were asked on Tuesday, we don't want to let a whole week go by until they're resolved. So if they aren't resolved, the vendor will learn and has learned that if they aren't resolved by Thursday afternoon, we're asking again. So I think we'll be quite successful in doing that. Any questions there?
Is that Brent Galloway for Mac?
Yes.
Okay, just want to be sure. Thank you.
Yep. Steve and I spent the first week of December over in Newport. We had a couple days in Newport at the Oregon APCO-NENA quarterly meeting. We received several we had several training sessions, updates from the state 911 program. We attended, this is a newly added that will be coming back now, several peer roundtables, and some were moderated and some were y'all come and bring all of your ideas. And it was very exciting to see the 42 centers collaborating together kind of in a freer format. And it was very popular across the board. And we got quite a few tidbits and gave some help to some other centers. And we're looking forward to the next one. With that, one of the items that we're going to be talking about, I'm on the APCO-NENA Legislative Committee, and I'm going to start giving you regular updates. It seems like it's a long ways away, and it is not legislatively. The 911 telecommunications tax is due to sunset December 31st of 2029, which means there's only 2 long sessions between this date and then. And right now, the idea of extending a tax or adding a tax, we all know, is not popular whatsoever. What can you do right now? We are focusing as an association, one, of telling our story. We're going to spend the next year or so telling our story and what that tax does to support your centers today and have some unified messaging. But also what you can do is, we had a member agency approach me within the last month, well, since we last met. And the gentleman had been at a conference for his entity. And he came up to me after he got back and explained to me that there was a lobbyist for their association, also public safety on the fire side. And a lobbyist was talking about new programs that the fire service wanted to implement and potential pools of money that they could get the funding for. And during the presentation to an entire conference, the lobbyist suggested the 911 telecommunications tax in the future may be expanded to include other public safety entities. And I've let him know that I appreciate following that presentation. He walked up to the speaker and said, I just want to let you know that I represent a fire district, and I need you to understand that there's only 2 ways that my 911 center is funded, through the 911 tax and through my member dues. And if we as fire service or anyone else takes a portion of the 911 tax, they have no alternative but to ask me for more dues. So we're not helping ourselves by taking a piece of the 911 tax pie. And the story goes that the lobbyist said, I never thought of it that way. And so as I gave that story, I related that conversation to the APCO-NENA Association, and we committed to each other that over the next year, we're going to tell this example and this story and ensure that in the very least, public safety, police, fire, EMS understands that if the 911 tax is reduced or allowed to sunset, the only recourse that we have is to go to our members and ask for more money. So we just started this preemptive conversation about we need to know as soon as possible. And the direct effect and impact on you is $890,000 in 25-26. And I don't think 16 members are prepared to split that at an 80-20 or a 1/16. So please help us in this downtime. We are being told by our own lobbyist, we are not to start coming on with push for legislation to extend it, but we most certainly can be present and tell our story, and that the 911 tax is critical to the work that we do. And for you, when I give my annual statistics, I'll come back and let you know what portion of our budget that has represented this year. And it used to be about 16%. In the last few years, it's been around between 19 and 21%. So I don't think that you're prepared to replace that money. And so help us tell our story. Any questions there? The final update that I have for you is when we last met, I gave a presentation about the ambulance service area committee and the ambulance service plan that has been under review and updating for the last couple of years. And my gratitude to Commissioner Sterrett, who sat in and listened into your meeting and then reconvened the ambulance service area committee, put in ask that we go in and look at the dispatch metrics one more time. And Lori Steinbeck, the manager of the Newburgh 911 Center, and myself got together and we presented something similar to what I presented to you. And the ambulance service area committee did approve a motion that changes that dispatch metric. So moving forward, the draft that was sent, that component that was sent to Oregon Health Authority would be that we dispatch all life-threatening emergency calls within 3 minutes. That allows 1 minute for the caller's location and telephone call and 2 minutes to triage and get the call sent, or to get the call sent to WACA by Newburgh, 1 minute to location and caller phone number and get it sent to WACA, and then 4 minutes final for all medical calls. So we both agree that that's not a slam dunk. We have targets that we can meet in our centers. The idea was not to suggest something that we could just 100% comply with, but to give us a benchmark that was relative and industry best practice. And I'm pleased to say that the committee did listen to our appeal and has passed an amendment that will contain the 3 minutes and the 4 minutes now moving forward. So I appreciate your support on that, as well as the commissioner liaison to the ASA committee. Are there any questions for me? So when we meet next, we've been.
I think Brandon had one.
Go ahead, Brandon. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was wanting to know if we were gonna get earlier budget numbers this year. I know we have possibilities of the user fees. I don't know if we're gonna get one budget projected with those, one without. Just kind of want to see where we're gonna be looking at budget time.
Well, I think that from our conversation from the user committee update, as soon as we have the draft of what is going to likely be coming to the board, we will send that out to all the board members for review, and any of the agencies that are partners in that 190 agreement, as long as they have the full understanding that that is still yet to be voted on by the board, and there may be some changes as that works its way through the approval process with the executive board. But I do believe that Chief Graven is wanting to get that draft to us as soon as possible. And I would anticipate that we would have at least some level of base information to work with in January.
Okay, so we would definitely be looking at having earlier budget committee meetings and our final budget approval earlier this year.
I don't believe that the YCOM budget process will take place any earlier than what it historically has. I think that we will have information available to all the member agencies a lot earlier than we have, so that they can work on their individual budgets. But
Awesome.
we don't even get our budget instructions and information from county administration until January 6th. And
Great.
we would have the rough outline calendar of when budget hearings would be taking place for the county.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Patty. Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you very much. So I was just going to say, when we next meet in February, or if there is a special meeting in January, when we meet in February, We've spent a lot of time investment going through our reporting capabilities, and I'm getting ready. We're getting those reports ready to draft some statistical data for you. And just remember that there's two components to that. It's what you ask for as far as membership and billable calls, and there's the overall busyness activity of the center. And my February focus for you is the activity of the center as a whole, and that's what we'll next be working on for you. Thank you very much. That's the end of my report.
All right. Anything else from any of the other board members before we adjourn?
I've let the sheriff know, but Patty and just other board members, I'll be for the Association of Oregon Counties, co-chair for Public Safety and Veterans Affairs. So especially during this short session or whatever. So if you have bills that you're paying attention to that you would like the counties to get behind or consider, let me know, and I'll make that part of our agendas. Obviously, it's a short session, but yeah, let me know. I can get more commissioners behind us in that. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
And I would like to just provide a brief update to the board that we received notification just a few hours ago that our countywide behavioral health deflection grant application was approved by the Criminal Justice Commission.
Okay.
That was a very collaborative effort between all of the public safety stakeholders in the county. But I would remind the board that one of the elements that we submitted in our application this year was to establish that CAD to CAD connection between YCOM and the other entities that service public safety in our region, so that we have good communication flow for purposes of the deflection program, and ensuring that even though we sometimes are on disparate systems, that all of the players are getting those notifications of those applicable cases. And so that will be a huge step for all of us, but in particular for YCOM to have that capability where we can now seamlessly share information between dispatch centers through the CAD system. So we're really excited about getting that established.
What was the value of that grant, you know?
The total grant is 900,000 roughly
Oh, great.
for the biennium.
Okay.
So
Does this mean we can stop sending the deflection emails back and forth?
well, yet to be determined. We're going to
Okay.
have to look at our workflow and
Okay.
how we can utilize the functionality of that to take care of some of that notification work on the back end.
Nice.
So I will adjourn the meeting at 3:27. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.